Hello everyone, welcome back to the beloved and happy channel. And today we are going to talk about things that will make a woman think about you non-stop. So most of the videos we've seen on this topic come across as pretty manipulative, which we don't like at all, so we wanted to put a healthier spin on it. How can we build attraction naturally? How do we make sure we're not coming on too strong? How do we make sure that we're leaving a little bit to be desired? There are definitely some little shifts that you can make to naturally build attraction, and you don't have to force it. Of course, at the end of the day we want you all to be authentic and show up as your best self, but if you've never dated before and you're watching a video telling you to act a certain way to be a certain way, you might get a little confused and end up self-sabotaging. When you build attraction naturally, often the other person can't help but think about you when you're not together, or at least we know I've definitely been that way before. There are just certain things that make you more memorable, and we want to use what we already have to make sure we're putting our best foot forward and showing up as our best selves. So how do you do that? Number 1 is to be mindful. And there are a couple of different points that we want to touch on. The first one is listening and remembering what she says to you. Paying attention to the little details really sets you apart in a good way. Women are incredibly attentive to details, and I think that's why they notice when a man does it, because they are that way too. So you really want to be present and give her your full attention when you're together. If you're constantly having superficial conversations, there's really nothing meaningful or memorable about it. So again, making sure that you're present and listening to what the other person is saying to you instead of just thinking about what you're going to say next is incredibly important. You really want to listen to what the other person is saying, and in turn you'll have a better, deeper conversation because you're really listening. The secret to a memorable date is good conversation. So again, pay attention, be present, listen, have those deep conversations. Remember something she says to you and bring it up after the date when you're texting or something, or the next time you see her, and she'll be impressed. Number 2, independence equals attractiveness. The absolute last thing you want to do is be needy and clingy. That is a surefire way to kill attraction and send her running off to never think about you again. You really want to have your own life and be an independent guy. You should have your own purpose and passions and hobbies and interests and things that you enjoy on your own, so that you're not always relying on other people to provide that for you. And let me just tell you, it's incredibly attractive when a man has his purpose, passions, hobbies, interests, things that he enjoys doing and shares them. The more you're aligned with your purpose and things that bring you joy in life, or really just your own life, the less needy and clingy you're going to be, because you know you can do it on your own. So if you have things that you enjoy or that you're good at, don't be afraid to share that with the other person. It's really attractive when a guy is skilled, when he's interesting. Just do more things in your life and it will make you more interesting. And another important aspect of being independent is having boundaries. Having boundaries with the person you're seeing is also really important, so knowing that you wouldn't just drop everything to go see her. We know that sounds very romantic and like something out of a movie, but that's not a good or healthy thing to do in your relationship from the very beginning, so you really want to make sure that you have those boundaries. Let's say you're a pretty busy guy because you have your own purpose and life and passions, but you made time after work on Friday to see her. Maybe you couldn't hang out during the week because, you have to show up at work and be your best self. This is really important to you, but you still made her a priority and made time for her on a Friday after work, which is a good look for you because it shows that you're still willing to make that time, but you're not willing to neglect everything else in your life for this person you just met. So again, having those boundaries is incredibly important at the beginning of a relationship, at the end of a relationship. Whatever it is, just having boundaries in your life with everybody is very important for you and your well-being and your mental health. And it makes you look attractive when you make time for someone, but that person knows you're busy. She's going to come out of that and say, "Wow, I know he's so busy, he's got all this going on, but he still made time for me on Friday. I must be really important to him." Great sign. Number 3, be a gentleman. If you are actively pursuing a girl, being a gentleman is the absolute best way to stand out. I promise you, she will remember that you opened the door for her or gave her her jacket when she was cold. Little gestures like that seem small, but they're incredibly meaningful, and we promise she'll remember them. Number 4 is non-physical compliments. So let us start this one by saying that when you compliment someone, it should be sincere. We don't want you to lie to get someone to like you, okay? Knowing that, understand that the best kind of compliments don't have to be about something physical, and if you're dating an attractive girl, chances are she hears about how pretty she is all the time. Maybe you should compliment her on something else. Wow, you're so hot is probably a compliment she gets all the time from a million different guys. So if you give her a compliment that stands out, that's different from what everyone else is saying, she'll remember it. And of course any compliment is nice, especially if you really mean it, but try to focus on things that aren't physical and see if she remembers them. I love your energy. You're so down to earth. You're super smart. I love the way you're passionate about whatever she's talking about. I mean, it could really be so many different things that have nothing to do with the way she looks that she's probably not used to hearing, because I think when we think of compliments, we automatically think of telling someone they're pretty, or we like their shoes, or we like their jacket, or whatever it is. It's usually physical. But women always remember compliments when it's not a compliment that they normally get, or it's a compliment that has nothing to do with the way they look because they're used to hearing it. Maybe it's something about the way she speaks or how much she knows about a subject or something like that that she's probably pretty proud of. Those are the compliments that mean the most, and they're often very memorable compared to other compliments. So keep that in mind. And finally, number 5 on our list is to try something new together. Sometimes we think that we can get so caught up in a routine that it feels really nice to try something new or do something different. So maybe go on a date you've never been on together, or try something new that neither of you has done before. It's not so routine and predictable, and it will be something a little more fun and memorable. Also, trying something new or different is a really great way to bond and create a deeper connection because you're both trying something you've never done before. You're both learning together. And it's just a really great bonding experience as well. And she's going to remember it if she's never been to a cooking class before and you guys go to a cooking class and you have an incredible time together. She's obviously going to remember it and probably think about it later. And we don't want to completely knock having a routine because we're very routine types. But sometimes when you do things that are so predictable and you do the same things over and over again, you kind of lose that memorable factor. So trying something new, getting out of your comfort zone, doing something you've never really done before can be really great for building attraction, getting to know someone on a deeper level and being more memorable. And another little tip here that we wanted to talk about is being spontaneous, and being able to think on your feet is something that women find really attractive. So keep that in mind. We're not saying you have to do the craziest things like skydiving or jumping off a building or whatever it is, but just don't be afraid to try something new and think on your feet a little bit. And that's something that women find attractive because it comes across as very confident. They can count on you and you can easily take the lead, which is incredibly attractive. Alright guys, that is all we have for 5 things that will make a woman think about you non-stop. Again, we feel like every video we've seen on this topic always comes across as really manipulative or using psychological tricks to get someone to like you. And if someone is right for you, you don't need to do those things. You should just really show up as the best version of yourself, which we think is what all the things on this list kind of encompass, instead of trying to, trick someone or try to be someone that you're not. We don't like that kind of content. We will never promote any of that on our channel. So we just want you guys to keep that in mind if you're dating, if you're new to things and you feel like maybe you're sabotaging yourself or you're not having the success that you want and you want to be memorable and you want to make a good first impression. We think all of those things are a great place to start. So we hope you all found this video helpful. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel to be notified when we release new content. As always, thanks for watching and see you all next time.